Hi, and welcome back to Seekers and Cynics. My name is Richard Bentley and this is Bodmin Road Church, and over the recent weeks we've been thinking about origins, the origins of the universe and of life, and we've been trying to work out whether a God explanation and a scientific explanation are contradictory or complementary. And what I've tried to do is show that they can be perfectly complementary, and that the only conflict comes when scientists overstep their boundaries and start making statements about God, which are no longer really scientific statements, and they should recognize that. Or when Christians misinterpret the Bible and try using it as a scientific textbook, which it isn't. That's when the conflict arises. But otherwise, a scientific view and a biblical view can be perfectly complementary. What about human beings? That's what I want to come on today. What about human origins? We've got the Adam and Eve story on the one hand, and we've got the widespread scientific evidence on the other hand for human evolution. Is it possible in some way to hold those two together? I can't answer everything here. That would take 2 hours, and I'm trying to keep this in under 8 minutes. But my main aim really is two things. One, for those of you considering becoming a Christian, to help you to know that you don't have to throw your brain away in order to do that. But also for those of you just who would hold on to the view that science can explain everything. I really want to suggest to you that there might be more to life, the universe, and our human experience than meets the eye. So how do I integrate my scientific understanding with my faith in God when it comes to humanity? The Bible teaches that we are individuals made in God's image, spiritual beings made in the image of God. And the theory of evolution suggests that we are no more than a rather advanced species sharing a common ancestor with our monkey cousins about 6 million years ago. What are we going to do with that? Well, I've no real trouble with the view of the evolution of our physical bodies. The evidence for that we haven't time to go into, but it really is rather good. And there's nothing for me in the Bible that would make me want to question that evidence. In fact, Genesis chapter 2 traces us back not just to common ancestors with the monkeys, but right back to the dust itself. But then I would want to say this. Isn't there more to our human experience than just our physical bodies? Doesn't our capacity for language, for culture, our ability to do mathematics, our capacity for self-conscious reflection, our capacity of free will and decision making, our strong sense of morality and virtue, our capacity for love, for humour, for courage, and our strong, across all races and cultures, awareness of spiritual things? Doesn't all of that suggest to you that we are something more than just a physical being? Something more than just a complex composite of carbon and water and a few other bits and pieces? Surely there's more to us than that. It seems to me that we are hybrid beings, spiritual as well as physical. And fundamentally, that is what the Adam and Eve story in Genesis is telling us. Christians do have a variety of angles on it, but in the very broadest brushstrokes and in the very basic sense, what that Adam and Eve story in Genesis is telling us is that we are different from the animals, that we are spiritual beings as well as physical beings. Spiritual beings with a capacity for morality, for spirituality, for love, for choice, for free will, and most importantly, if we will choose it, for a relationship with God. And so once again, I find the scientific picture and the biblical picture are complementary. They are both necessary for a full understanding of what it is to be human. Let me finish with a point for any of you who are still perhaps thinking, no, science can explain the whole kit caboodle. For any of you who have just a purely physical view of the universe, let me finish with this. Here is the front cover of New Scientist magazine, February 2020, so just a year ago. And the lead article in this magazine, which is featured on the front cover, is all about the scientific struggle to explain the human experience. And so the front cover says this: why the laws of the universe explain everything except you. We need the tools of science, but they aren't enough. We also need the truths that are revealed in the Bible too.